Hello everyone. Last year I did a series of 3 short tutorials, and I'm coming back to that just to refresh everybody's mind on the use of Tinkercad in your classroom. I know we're short on microbits, they're coming, so this is another resource that you can use in the meantime. Last year, the first tutorial that I did was the connecting the servo. So I've already opened up the Tinkercad environment, go up here to components, and if I just select MicroBit, it limits to some pre-made projects for us. Last year, the example that I gave with the servo was really quite simple. And it just contained basically a micro servo connected directly to the MicroBit and powered from the MicroBit. So let me go ahead and wire this back in. That's our signal wire. I'd prefer for that just be yellow. And let's go ahead and get our power. And I'd like for that to be red. Then our ground. And we'll follow the normal convention. Let me straighten this out. All right. So as it's set up, we would get our signal from pin 0, come into the servo, and that's what would cause it to rotate based on whatever information we sent it. Now we're getting our power from the MicroBit, which gets its power, in this particular case, from the USB cable. That's okay for a mini or micro servo like this one, which is some of the ones that we've purchased that come in the kit and so forth. If you need a servo that has more power, the next step up would be a hobby servo that you would find in a remote control airplane, remote control car, boat, things of that nature. Now the problem with that is they're a lot more powerful, but they require more power. The MicroBit is not going to be able to supply enough power to a high-powered servo to make it run. So let's go ahead and delete this, and let me give you a quick run through. And in fact, they have a setup already done. And we'll just use this tutorial, which is really about temperature more so than how to wire a servo. But I want to use it because this is exactly how you would power a servo that requires more power than what the MicroBit can provide. Let me just zoom in here a little bit so we can see the connections. Notice we're still getting our signal directly from the MicroBit, except in this particular case we're using pin 2. We're getting our ground from the MicroBit, However, the actual power for the servo is coming from our battery. In this particular case, it's 3 cells. That gives you a total of 4.5 volts, which is enough to power a hobby style servo. Now, notice that the grounds are connected together. The ground from the servo and the ground from the battery pack. What that does is it puts everything in this circuit at the same level, uses the same reference level, so that you don't have power flowing from the microbit into the battery or from the battery into the microbit, which could happen if you do not have this shared ground. So that's just something that you need to keep in mind if you need a more powerful servo and you need to hook up an external power supply to it to actually power the servo. In this particular case, like I said, they're still using a micro servo. However, they are using an outside power source to actually power it. Now, if we run the simulation, what it does is right now we have our temperature, everybody's happy. We raise the temperature, or what should be the ambient temperature. Notice that the servo tracks, and now we're kind of not feeling so good. It's a little bit too hot. We come back down, comfort zone, we're comfortable, we're happy. We go down in temperature, it's really cold and probably not so happy. So that's really not what this simulation is about. What I really wanted to show you was how you can connect a larger servo to a microbit with an external power supply. If y'all have any questions, be sure and send me an email. And I would also like to let y'all know that send me recommendations for the next tutorial that you would like to see. If you have questions or whatever, I'm more than happy to create a quick tutorial video to show you, if I can, the simulation in Tinkercad. If not, then we'll have to do it with actual components. But I can turn videos around a lot faster if we can do the entire simulation in Tinkercad. Some of the tutorials that come to mind real quick are the pressure sensor and the flex sensor. So I'll be doing those probably in the next week or two. If you have any other ideas of what you would like information on, feel free to send them to me. Thank you.